morning, everyone. This is BBQ News. I am Bernie Burger.
And this is Stevie Steak.
We have some smoking hot topics to talk about today.
And our juicy news of the day is
Royal trouble between our favorite couple and the Queen.
Britain's worst sexual predator has finally been caught.
A 10-day long protest at Shell's headquarters just ended.
The Hong Kong protesters are still going strong in 2020.
Smoke from Australia's bushfire is making a trip around the Earth, and the entire government of Russia just resigned after Putin's latest power grab.
In sport, Norwegian wonderkid Erling Braut Haaland knows how to make his debut on his first match for Borussia Dortmund, and athletes are experiencing breathing problems at the Australian Open.
You, me.
Barbecue, barbecue me, barbecue everybody.
News from the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have decided they will quit their royal duties as Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Shocking news for the entire royal family. Some support their decisions, others think it's an act of complete selfishness. We at BBQ News were privileged enough to have an exclusive interview with no other than our Highness Queen Elizabeth II.
Are we live? Alright then. This is Winston McCliffernet coming at you live from the Royal Palace. Next to me I have Queen Elizabeth. Can I call you Lizzie? Alright Lizzie, what do you think about Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think their action is just like yourself. Unbelievably disrespectful.
But they're also just people with their own hopes and dreams. They can do whatever they want with their life, right?
We royalties are born into nobility with all its advantages included. But with that, we carry a great burden by presenting England and performing our royal duties. We gave them everything they wanted. We gave them the house they wanted. We gave them the wedding they wanted. We gave them the money they wanted. And we gave them the stuff they wanted. And how did they repay us? By turning their back on us.
I heard they made a decision behind your back. Did that sting, Lizzie?
As a matter of fact, it did. How dare they make this rebellious treason on me? They can go to Canada and kiss my ass. These fucking...
Lizzie, no!
A shocking story about Britain's worst rapist. Sinagra, a 36-year-old Indonesian postgraduate student, is imprisoned for life after committing 136 cases of raping young males. The so-called worst sexual predator of Britain used to drug his victims, who were already intoxicated, and lure them to his apartment. We have an interview with correspondent Harvey Spacey and one of the victims.
Thank you. I am now accompanied by one of Sinaga's victims, Rupert. Thank you so much for being so brave and tell us your story.
No worries. I just hope by telling my own story, things like this are less likely to happen in the future.
So, Rupert, if I may ask, what happened before the facts?
I still know I was partying with my friends, but I must say I may have had a drink too many. And before I knew it, I was walking with Sinaga to his apartment because, my phone died and he told me I could charge it at his place.
And how would you describe Sinaga?
Well, he just seemed a very honest and friendly guy. I would never have expected what he was about to do with me.
And what happened next?
He asked me for a drink and took my phone to charge it. And what happened next is still very blurry to me. But I'm sure he put something in my drink. And the morning afterwards, I woke up in his bed without a memory of what happened the night before.
And did you speak with any of his other victims?
Yes, but most of them didn't realize they had been raped after the police contacted them. And I just think it's unbelievable that he could go his own way without somebody noticing it. I don't know, I just hope this monster rots in jail where he belongs.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Rupert, don't cry. He's where he belongs right now. The monster is locked up. Would you like to drink some water?
Yes, please. Oh. Thank you very much. Oh, Shit, my head.
It's okay.
Ooh. Oh.
Get the camera, goddammit. Get the camera! Get the camera!
The Hong Kong protests have been going on for nearly 10 months already, with no sign of stopping. My good friend Stevie, that's me, will cover it all for you.
Since the 15th of March, the Hong Kong youth have been protesting the new extradition bill. This bill would allow people who have committed crimes in and against mainland China to be detained by Hong Kong authorities and be extradited to China. This is seen by the protesters as a serious attempt by the Chinese government to infringe on Hong Kong's autonomy, as it could allow China to frame and pressure critics of the Chinese government residing in Hong Kong. On the 4th of September, Carrie Lam, the chief executive of Hong Kong, announced the formal withdrawal of the extradition bill. However, the protests continued, with protesters still marching to the United States consulate on the 8th of September to call for the passage of the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act. Due to this act, the US will each year launch an investigation into the autonomy of Hong Kong to justify its special economical and political treatment. On the 20th of November, the bill was signed by President Donald J. Trump. With the recent district council election ending in a landslide win by the pro-democracy party, it seems like it's just a matter of time until change is upon the city of Hong Kong.
Environment protesters are blocking the entrance of Shell headquarters in Aberdeen. They want to draw attention to the effects big corporations like Shell have on the environment. They say that governments and corporations already agree that climate change is a thing, but they don't act on it. Meanwhile, Shell claims that they are already trying to reduce their CO2 emissions. We sent one of our correspondents on the scene. Can you tell us something more about the situation there?
Next to me is standing a Shell spokesman. Sir, could you tell us what do you think of this protest?
Well, we as a company agree that urgent action is really necessary, but doing stunts like these won't help solve climate change. What we need is an effective policy and even more investment into our innovation and technology.
Is it true that your company is already working on things related to the climate?
Yes, absolutely. As we move towards a low carbon future, we at Shell must play our part, just like everyone else. We already addressed our own carbon emissions and are right now helping clients remove theirs.
But isn't your company responsible for over 71 millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere? As an oil company, does it make you a part of the problem?
Well, that is just fake news and environmentalist propaganda. No further commentary.
So as you can see, it is still quiet right here. But I don't think we will see the spokesman soon again.
The Prime Minister of Russia, Medvedev, shocked the whole world when he announced that the Russian parliament was resignating. This got announced a few hours after Vladimir Putin proposed his new sweeping constitutional changes that could extend his stay in power. Our colleague, Rusty Rips, interviewed an expert on Russian politics.
Next to me is standing Russian political expert Dmitry Tachanka. Good evening, Lord Tachanka. How are you doing?
Well, very good, very good. Good evening to you too.
So, could you explain us more about the resignation of the entire Russian government?
Well, of course I can. President Vladimir Putin said on the annual State of National Address that he wanted to change the constitution so he could hold on to power after he's forced to step down in 2024. But hours later, the Prime Minister announced that the entire government would resign. Well, this was a very unexpected move.
What did President Putin propose on the annual State of the Nation?
Well, he wants to change the constitution. Well, these changes include giving more responsibility to the parliament for appointing a prime minister. Well, normally this is done by president. Well, these changes could extend Putin's hold of power, but well, this is Russia. President couldn't do whatever the fuck he wants.
Thank you for explaining us this so clearly.
Well, you're welcome, comrade.
Well, President Putin announced that later this year there will be a nationwide vote for the change on the constitution.
Привет.
The extreme number of bushfires that began in late July have destroyed a large part of Australia's forest. Thousands of homes have been destroyed. 28 people and millions of animals have died. NASA says that the smoke caused by the fires will make a full circuit line around the globe. We sent a reporter to the Kennedy Space Center. Good morning, Willie Wiener.
Good morning. I'm standing next to one of the scientists of NASA, Mr. Pickleton.
Good morning.
We saw that NASA stated that the smoke will travel around the world, but how is it even possible?
Well, the smoke of the Australian bushfires were sent into the atmosphere because of fire-generated thunderstorms. Once in the atmosphere, it is able to travel thousands of miles around the globe.
And how fast does the smoke even travel?
The exact speed, we don't know that, but it travels fast. So fast that on New Year's Eve it had already reached Latin America, and by the 8th of January it was already halfway around the Earth.
And does the smoke have any consequences for other countries?
It doesn't have any consequences for the UK, but in Latin America it has changed the colors of the sky, and in New Zealand it has changed the color of the snow on the mountain tops. They turned darker.
Okay, thank you very much for your time, Professor, and let's go back to the studio.
Oh no, there's a smoke line
no,
from
a
Australia!
smoke!
No!
Harder, better, faster, stronger.
It only took 3 minutes for Erling Braut Haaland to make his mark on his debut for his new club, Borussia Dortmund. The report of the match will follow by our commentator, Sissy Pham. With me, I have Erling Braut Haaland, the striker who managed to score not 1, but 3 goals during his debut for his new club, Borussia Dortmund. Erling, when you were about to score your first goal for your new club, what went through your head?
Well, actually I was just thinking about what my girlfriend promised me yesterday. So.
And what did she promise you?
She told me that if I was gonna score this afternoon, I was also going to score this evening.
Well, you heard it, people. By the end of the day, Erling will have put it in 4 times. Athletes at the Australian Open are experiencing breathing difficulties due to the air pollution because of the Australian wildfires, making it nearly impossible for them to perform. The woman, number 210 in the world, had to quit her game after a coughing fit. We have someone live at the Australian Open. Leonard Splashbucket, I see you have someone with you.
You bet I do. Next to me I have Novak Djokovic, who just had to play for 2 hours. Novak, what do you think about these conditions you have to play in?
Well, I think it's very irresponsible to let us play in these conditions. I mean, it has been proven from time to time that we athletes are very susceptible to pollution like this because we breathe so heavy during our activities. Well, in my opinion, the match should be delayed.
Okay, Novak Djokovic, thank you for your time, and yeah, good luck with the tournament.
Thank you.
Now back to you, Stevie.
To end the day, we have Frank de Blozer with the weather.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow will start nice with a lot of sunshine. It's going to stay clear, but in the evening, sun may give way to rain. Winds are expected to be southwest at 10 miles per hour, and local showers will be possible during the night. Thursday is going to start cloudy with an enormous shower in the north. Minimum temperature between 0 degrees and maximum temperature between 5 degrees. In the evening, some thunderstorms will appear, especially in the south and southwest. These will continue during the night while temperature drops below 0 degrees. So please, ladies and gentlemen, be careful on the roads. Friday is going to be nice again. Temperature will rise to 7 degrees, it will stay dry, and the winds are expected to remain calm and southwest. Thanks to the fact that there won't be any clouds overnight, we will be able to start our weekend comfortable. Thank you all for watching and have a nice evening.
That was it for the barbecue news for today.
Thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow.
Until next time. Oh god damn it, this was... Oh, never made this mistake again.
With the opponent. You are no match for me.
Everybody's choking now, the clock's run out, time's up, over, loud, snap back to reality, oh, there goes gravity, oh, there goes gravity, choke, he's so mad but he won't give up, daddies, he know, he won't have it, he knows, his whole back to these ropes, it don't matter, he's dope, he knows that, but he's broke, he's so stagnant, he knows, when he goes back to this mobile home, that's when it's back to the lab again, yo, this old rhapsody, better go capture this moment and hope it don't pass him and lose his health in the